You're late. The door's locked. You're out. Emma Bradley's heart hammered as she stared through the glass at her professor, who didn't even look up from her phone. The clock on the wall read 8:14 a.m. Final exam. Nursing 401. The rule was clear. Late entry not permitted. Emma's hands were still sticky with blood, her scrubs soaked through, the metallic tang of fear and adrenaline clinging to her skin. She knocked again, harder. "Professor, please." Professor Morrison's eyes flicked up, cold and flat. "You know the policy, Miss Bradley. You're late. You fail." Emma's voice cracked. "I was helping someone. She was dying. I called 911. Morrison's lips barely moved. "That was your choice. Choices have consequences. Goodbye." The door clicked shut. Emma stood in the hallway, shaking, blood drying on her hands, the world spinning. She pressed her forehead to the cool glass, willing herself not to cry. Not here. Not now. 3 hours earlier. Emma's phone alarm screamed at 7:11 a.m. She rolled off the futon, feet hitting the cold floor of her basement apartment. She'd slept in her scrubs again. Couldn't afford laundry, couldn't afford care. On her desk, a photo. 9-year-old Emma with her mother, Sarah, before the pneumonia that killed her. "I'm going to make it, Mama," Emma whispered, grabbing her backpack. Today's the day. She ran into the November cold, breath fogging in the air. Market Street was a river of commuters, everyone moving fast, eyes down. The bus stop was 2 blocks away. She could see the Route 21 bus approaching, headlights cutting through the gray. Then she saw her, a woman, maybe 50, crumpled against the pharmacy wall. White coat, expensive, dark with blood pooling from her head. iPhone shattered beside her. People walked past. A businessman glanced, kept walking. College students didn't even slow down. Emma's phone buzzed. 7:34 a.m., 6 minutes until the bus. The woman's lips moved. "Help!" Emma dropped her backpack. She fell to her knees, hands moving through assessment. "Ma'am, can you hear me?" Pulse weak, thready. Pupils unequal. Brain bleed. Skin cold, clammy. Going into shock. Emma dialed 911. "This is Emma Bradley, nursing student. Unresponsive female, approximately 50. Head trauma with active bleeding. Unequal pupils. Shock symptoms. Market and 15th, northwest corner. Ambulance is 4 minutes out," the dispatcher said. 4 minutes. In a brain bleed, 4 minutes meant life or death. A businessman stopped. "Is she?" "Your jacket. Now." Emma wrapped it around the woman, preserving body heat. Position her head carefully. Couldn't risk spinal injury. "Ma'am, stay with me." "What's your name?" The woman's eyes fluttered. "Eleanor." "Meeting Daniel." "I'm Emma. I'm not leaving you." Emma pressed against the wound. Blood seeped between her fingers. Her scrubs soaked through. Her phone lit up. 7:38 a.m. The bus pulled up to the stop. Opened its doors. Waited. Emma didn't look. The doors closed. The bus drove away. The ambulance arrived 6 minutes later. Paramedic Rodriguez knelt beside Emma. "What do we got?" "Unresponsive female, head trauma, unequal pupils, weak pulse, shock symptoms. 8 minutes ago, based on blood coagulation. I've maintained pressure and monitored vitals." Rodriguez looked at Emma, at the blood on her hands, at the calm in her eyes. "You save her life. Seriously, another 10 minutes, and we'd be calling the coroner." The ambulance doors slammed shut. Sirens wailed. Emma stood alone on the sidewalk. Blood drying on her hands. Phone exploding with messages. "Destiny, where are you?" "Destiny." Professor Morrison just locked the door. "Destiny." "Emma, you're missing the exam." Emma walked to campus anyway. Harrison Hall, 4th floor, room 402. Door closed. Through the window, classmates bent over exams. Professor Morrison at the front desk. Emma knocked. Morrison looked up. Check her watch. Looked back down. Kept reading. Emma knocked louder. Morrison opened the door 2 inches. "Miss Bradley, you're late." "Professor, there was an emergency. A woman was—" "The exam started at 8. It is now 8:14. Late entry not permitted. You received a 0. But I was performing CPR. That was your choice. Your grade stands." Please leave. The door closed. Emma stood there numb, staring at blood on her hands. Basement apartment. Emma's roommate, Destiny, waited anxiously. What happened? Emma explained while washing blood from her shaking hands. Email arrived. Office of the Dean. Urgent. Your exam absence resulted in course grade F. You are below minimum 3.0 GPA for scholarship retention. Your presidential scholarship, $2,800 semester, is revoked effective immediately. You have 48 hours to appeal or arrange payment, $28,000. Emma had $340 in checking. Destiny grabbed her hand. This is insane. You were saving someone's life. We appeal. Morrison already said no. Policy is policy. Then we go over her head. With what leverage, Destiny? I'm a broke black girl on scholarship. But Emma had to try. Friday, 9 a.m., Dean Morrison's office. Emma sat in a leather chair worth more than her apartment, still wearing blood-stained scrubs. Morrison sat behind a desk the size of Emma's bed. PhD from Harvard on the wall. Photo with the governor. Miss Bradley. 3 minutes. Dean Morrison. I'm appealing. Your exam absence. Denied. You missed your final. That is fact. The syllabus states late entry is not permitted under any circumstances. I have photos, hospital documentation. The paramedic said I saved her. Personal emergencies require 24-hour advance notice per university policy. How could I give notice? She was dying. You had a choice. Take your exam or assist a stranger. You chose. That choice has consequences. Emma felt tears burning. So if I'd walked past, let her die, I'd still have my scholarship. You have attended your exam. Policy is policy, Miss Bradley. We cannot make exceptions, even for dramatic circumstances. Otherwise, every student with a story would expect special treatment. This isn't a story. This is someone's life. Your appeal is denied. Arrange tuition by Monday, or you'll be withdrawn. This meeting is over. Emma sat frozen. I said this meeting is over. Leave. She walked out, destroyed, humiliated, broke, staring at 4 years of straight A's in the garbage. Emma's world shrank to numbers and dread. Tuition, $28,000. Rent, $850 due in 4 days. Savings, $340. The math didn't work. She lay on her futon, staring at the ceiling, Destiny's voice echoing from the kitchen. We'll figure something out, Em. We always do. But Emma knew this was different. She'd lost her scholarship, her future, her promise to her mother. She'd lost everything for a stranger. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She let it ring. Another buzz, this time a text. Unknown, look outside. Emma frowned, pushed herself up, and shuffled to the window. The courtyard was chaos. Neighbors pointing, kids screaming, dogs barking. The sound hit her next, deep, rhythmic, impossible to ignore. Whoop, 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 whoop. A helicopter. Black, sleek, gold lettering on the side. The downdraft sent trash swirling, rattled the windows, made Emma's heart pound. The chopper landed in the middle of the yard, scattering leaves and flyers in a violent spiral. The door opened. A woman stepped out, blonde hair pulled back, bandage on her head, expensive coat flapping in the wind. Behind her, a man in a suit carrying a briefcase. The woman scanned the crowd, eyes sharp, searching. She saw Emma in the window. Their eyes met. Emma's knees went weak. A knock at the door. Emma opened it, hands trembling. The woman stood there, taller than she'd seemed on the sidewalk, presence filling the tiny apartment. The man with the briefcase waited behind her. Emma Bradley, the woman asked, voice gentle but commanding. Emma nodded, voiceless. I'm Eleanor Richardson. May we come in? Emma stepped aside, mortally aware of everything. The peeling paint, the thrift store furniture, the ramen cups, the single photo taped to the wall. Eleanor looked around, not judging, just observing. Her eyes lingered on the photo of Emma and her mother. You have a beautiful smile, Eleanor said softly. Emma swallowed. Why are you here? Eleanor turned, her gaze direct. You saved my life 3 days ago. Then I found out what it cost you. Emma looked at her feet. I'm glad you're okay, but you didn't need to. Emma, do you know who I am? Emma shook her head. The woman I helped. That's all I need to know. Eleanor's smile was sad, complicated. My husband, Victor, founded Richardson Technologies. We have resources. When I found out you lost your scholarship for saving me, her voice cracked. I couldn't let that stand. The man with the briefcase stepped forward. James Sullivan, attorney. Mrs. Richardson would like to help with tuition. Emma shook her head, hard. No, I didn't help you for money. Eleanor's eyes filled with respect. I know. That's why I'm here. Because you sacrificed everything for a stranger. But I'm not offering charity, Emma. I'm offering justice. Emma frowned. What? Eleanor pulled out a folder. Emma's university records. Morrison denied your appeal in 42 seconds. Never looked at your documentation. When I called asking her to reconsider, she told me, and I quote, "We don't make policy exceptions, even for dramatic rescue stories." Emma's fists clenched. She called saving your life a dramatic rescue story. Eleanor nodded. So, here's what I'm proposing. You don't want charity? Fine. Neither do I. I want to change the system so no other student faces this. But I need your permission. Permission for what? To fight. Publicly, loudly, legally. They punished you for saving me. Let's punish them for punishing you. Emma stared at this billionaire who'd landed a helicopter in her courtyard and saw something unexpected, genuine rage on her behalf. What would that look like? Emma asked, voice small. Sullivan spoke. We file complaints, expose the university's pattern of denying emergency accommodations, especially to students of color. Press conferences. Noise. Lots of it. Emma's voice was barely a whisper, and risked destroying any chance at another school. Eleanor countered, or become the reason the next student doesn't have to choose. Emma looked at the eviction notice on the table, at the email revoking her scholarship, at the photo of her and her grandma. Go change the world, baby, Grandma always said. Emma took a shaky breath. Okay, let's fight. Eleanor smiled, fierce and proud. Good, because I brought a lawyer, and I'm not leaving until we have a plan. They sat in Emma's apartment like generals. Sullivan pulled out documents. Miss Bradley, your enrollment agreement? Emma found it, hands shaking. Sullivan read, making notes. Standard. The scholarship requires a 3.0 GPA. Absence policy says emergencies may be considered with appropriate documentation. That's our opening. Eleanor leaned forward. James, what do we know about Morrison? Sullivan pulled another folder. Dean for 8 years. No major scandals, but he spread papers. I pulled data on accommodation denials over 5 years. Striking pattern. Excel sheets, demographic breakdowns. 52 students denied emergency accommodations. 43 were students of color. 83%. Of the 9 white students, 6 received informal makeups, never documented. Emma felt sick. They just quietly helped white students. Not ignored. Actively punished, Sullivan said. He pulled meeting minutes, FOIA requests. Listen, faculty meeting last year. White student missed exam for car accident. We should be flexible. Everyone deserves compassion. 3 weeks later, black student missed exam for apartment evacuation. We can't set precedents. Policy is policy. Eleanor's face went stone cold. Recordings, audio files, all legal? Sullivan nodded. All legal. Emma's hand shook. I thought I was the only one. You're not. You're just the first with someone powerful enough to make them pay attention. Sullivan closed his laptop. Recommendation. Don't ask for a personal exception. Demand systemic change. New policy protecting all students. Independent review of past denials. Emma's scholarship reinstated as a settlement. They'll never agree, Emma said. Eleanor smiled, sharp and dangerous. Then we make them. Sullivan called University President Dr. Richard Carver at 9 a.m. speakerphone. Dr. Carver, James Sullivan, attorney for Eleanor Richardson and Emma Bradley. Regarding Miss Bradley's scholarship revocation, Carver's voice was smooth. Student matters are confidential. Dean Morrison. Morrison denied Bradley's appeal without reviewing documentation. We have hospital records, paramedic statements, photographic evidence of life-saving CPR. This warrants reconsideration. Our policies are clear. but we can't make exceptions. Dr. Carver, I'm also calling for Eleanor Richardson, whose foundation donated $50 million to your institution. Mrs. Richardson was the individual whose life Miss Bradley saved. She's deeply concerned. Long pause. I see. We appreciate Mrs. Richardson's recovery. Mrs. Richardson is suspending all future donations pending resolution. Additionally, we're prepared to file a Title VI civil rights complaint regarding discriminatory enforcement of absence policies. We have 5 years of data showing systematic racial bias. Papers rustled. Carver's smoothness vanished. That's very serious. It's a very serious problem. Bradley's scholarship reinstated, policy changes implemented, review of past cases, or we do this publicly with federal investigation. Your choice. 72 hours. Sullivan hung up. Now they waited. Someone leaked the story. Philadelphia Inquirer. Student loses scholarship after saving billionaire's life. CNN. University faces backlash over heartless policy. Emma's TikTok exploded. 400,000 followers, 8 million views. Comments. This is what heroes look like. University should be ashamed. Why isn't anyone helping her? But the comments were vicious too. Playing the race card. Should have called 911 and kept going. Emma stopped reading. She sat on her futon, staring at the ceiling, the world spinning, the sound of helicopter blades still echoing in her ears. Emma barely slept. Her phone buzzed all night. Reporters, classmates, strangers. Destiny scrolled through the news on her laptop, eyes wide. You're everywhere, Em. Twitter, TikTok, even CNN. People are furious. Emma stared at the eviction notice on the table. Doesn't pay the rent. Destiny squeezed her hand. It's not over. You have Eleanor. You have the truth. Friday morning, Emma's phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. Miss Bradley, this is President Carver. I'd like to discuss your situation. Emma's heart pounded. Yes, sir. We're offering you a makeup exam. Quietly. No press, no social media. You'll sign an NDA. If you pass, we'll consider reinstating your scholarship. Emma's throat tightened. You want me to be quiet. We want you to move forward. If you don't accept, the original decision stands. You'll be expelled. And with disciplinary issues and a failed course, other universities won't be eager to accept a transfer. Emma hung up without answering. She stared at the NDA in her inbox. Shut up or lose everything. Destiny came home, saw Emma's face. What's wrong? They offered a makeup. If I sign an NDA, promise to never talk about this. Destiny's eyes flashed. What will you do? Emma thought about her mother, about Grandma Loretta, about the 51 other students denied and silenced, about the next Emma Bradley. She called Eleanor. They offered a deal. Makeup if I stay quiet. Will you take it? Eleanor's voice was gentle, but fierce. What happens if I don't? We fight harder. Go public. Demand real change. But Emma, it'll get worse. They'll attack your character, try to destroy you. And if I sign, you get your degree. Move on. No one would blame you. Emma closed her eyes, remembering 9-year-old her at Mama's funeral. I'm going to help people no matter what. She took a breath. I'm not signing. Eleanor's voice filled with pride. Then let's show them what a mistake they made. Saturday morning, Emma awoke to the sound of chanting outside her window. She peeked through the blinds. Students with signs, justice for Emma. Kindness isn't a crime. We stand with Emma. Eleanor called. Press conference. 10 a.m. I'll pick you up. Emma's hands shook as she dressed. Destiny hugged her. You're not alone. The press conference was chaos. Cameras everywhere. Eleanor stood at the podium, bandage still visible, voice steady. 3 weeks ago, nursing student Emma Bradley saved my life. She missed her exam, her scholarship, her future, her promise to her dying mother, and saved my life. The University of Pennsylvania expelled her. When I investigated, I found worse than one bad decision. I found a pattern. A system that chews up students of color while protecting privileged students. Eleanor's eyes blazed. Kindness should never cost more than cruelty. Right now at this university, it does. Today, I'm announcing the Compassionate Action Scholarship. $10 million for students who face consequences for helping others. Emma will be first, but not the last. We're demanding policy changes so no student chooses between saving a life and their future. Reporters shouted questions. Are you suing? Not yet, Eleanor said. But if they don't act, absolutely. Emma stepped forward, hands shaking. I didn't help Mrs. Richardson for money. I helped because she was dying. That's what nurses do. If this university thinks that was wrong, then I don't want to be part of a system that teaches students to walk past dying people. The crowd erupted. By Sunday, hashtag Justice for Emma was trending nationwide. Emma's phone exploded. Interview requests from Good Morning America, CNN, local news. University Instagram was a war zone. I'm a nurse, and this makes me sick. Alumni not donating another cent. Expel the dean, not the hero. Monday morning, 200 students walked out. Signs everywhere. Kindness isn't a crime. We stand with Emma. Professor Maria Rivera spoke through a megaphone. We teach students to save lives first. Then this university punishes Emma for doing exactly that. Hypocrisy. The crowd roared. 40 professors signed an open letter demanding reform. The Pennsylvania NAACP called the action systematic discrimination. Sullivan released the data report. 5 years of denial. How one university's fair policy harmed students of color. Charts, audio, meeting minutes. Viral. President Carver released a statement. We are reviewing Ms. Bradley's case and our policies to ensure fairness. We look forward to dialogue with the Richardson Foundation. PR nonsense. No apology. No action. Behind the scenes, the board met in emergency session. Dean Morrison was called in. Trustee Margaret Reynolds slammed a folder on the table. You've created a nightmare. Billionaire threatening $50 million. Students protesting. Media calling us racist. Explain. Morrison was defensive. I followed policy. Trustee Howard Langford. Nobody cares. Fix this. Offer her scholarship back. Morrison. If we reverse, we look weak. Every student will expect exceptions. Margaret. Then maybe our policy is the problem. Silence. Carver, Patricia. Offer Bradley a makeup exam. Confidentially. Make this go away. Morrison called Emma. Miss Bradley, we've reconsidered. We'll offer a makeup exam. However, there are conditions. You'll sign an NDA. Refrain from media contact. Accept this as full resolution. We'll consider scholarship reinstatement after you pass. Emma's heart pounded. You want me quiet. I want you to move forward. If I don't sign, original decision stands. You're expelled. And frankly, with disciplinary issues and failed course, other universities won't be eager to accept a transfer. Emma hung up. She stared at the NDA. Morrison emailed. Shut up or lose everything. Destiny came home. What's wrong? They offered a makeup. If I sign an NDA, promise to never talk about this. Destiny's eyes flashed. What will you do? Emma thought about her mother, about grandma, about the 51 other students denied and silenced, about the next Emma Bradley. She called Eleanor. They offered a deal. Makeup if I stay quiet. Will you take it? Emma shook her head. No, I'm not signing. Eleanor's voice was fierce. Then let's show them what a mistake they made. Monday, 6:45 p.m. Emma stood outside the university's grand auditorium, heart pounding so hard she thought it might crack her ribs. The crowd was massive. Students, faculty, reporters, even strangers holding signs. Justice for Emma. Kindness is not a crime. Change the policy. Eleanor Richardson stood beside her, calm and unyielding. You ready? She asked. Emma shook her head. No, but I'm going in anyway. Eleanor smiled. That's what courage is. Inside, the board of trustees sat on a raised dais, faces pale and tight. Dean Morrison was nowhere to be seen. President Carver looked like he hadn't slept in days. The room was packed, students on the floor, faculty lining the walls, cameras everywhere. The air buzzed with anticipation and anger. Trustee Margaret Reynolds banged her gavel. This hearing is called to order. We are here to address the case of Miss Emma Bradley and the university's emergency accommodation policy. A hush fell. Emma's hands shook as she walked to the microphone. She could feel every eye on her, every phone streaming her face to the world. She took a breath. My name is Emma Bradley. I'm a nursing student. 3 weeks ago, I missed my final exam because I stopped to help a woman who was dying on the street. I didn't know she was Eleanor Richardson. I just knew she needed help. I did what I was trained to do, what I hope any nurse would do. She looked at the trustees, her voice trembling but clear. For that, I lost my scholarship. I was told I should have kept walking. That policy matters more than people. But I can't live in a world where saving a life is punished, where kindness is a liability. She paused, searching the crowd for Destiny, for Eleanor, for the faces of students who'd walked out for her. I'm not just fighting for myself. I'm fighting for every student who's been told to keep quiet, to accept unfairness, to walk past someone in need. I'm fighting for the next Emma Bradley. The room was silent. Then Eleanor stepped up, her voice ringing out. I'm alive because Emma Bradley stopped. I am here because she chose compassion over convenience. This university punished her for it. But the world is watching, and the world is asking, what kind of institution values rules over lives? She turned to the trustees, her gaze icy. You have a choice. Reinstate Emma, change your policy, or lose the support of everyone who believes in justice. Trustee Reynolds cleared her throat. We have heard enough. The board will deliberate. The trustees filed out, leaving the room buzzing. Emma sat, hands clenched, Destiny's arm around her shoulders. Eleanor squeezed her hand. No matter what happens, you did the right thing. Minutes crawled by. The trustees returned, faces grim. Reynolds stood. The board has reached a decision. Effective immediately, the university will reinstate Miss Bradley's scholarship with full back payment. The emergency accommodation policy is suspended pending review. An independent oversight committee, including students and faculty, will be established to review all past denials. The room erupted. Students cheered, faculty applauded, reporters shouted questions. Emma felt tears streaming down her face. Destiny hugged her, sobbing. Eleanor smiled, proud and fierce. President Carver took the mic, voice shaky. We extend our formal apology to Miss Bradley and all students harmed by our policies. We are committed to doing better. Emma stepped back, overwhelmed. She'd won, not just for herself, but for everyone who'd ever been told to keep quiet, to accept less, to walk past. Epilogue. Spring semester. Emma walked into her nursing ethics class, head held high. Professor Wilson smiled. Emma, would you share your perspective on real-world dilemmas? Emma nodded. It wasn't a dilemma. Someone was dying. I stopped. That's what you do. If I'd walked past, I'd have passed my exam and failed myself. A student raised a hand. Do you regret it? Emma smiled. Never. Not for 1 second. Elsewhere, Tyler Anderson, a senior, got a call during his statistics final. His brother was in the hospital. He looked at his professor, conflicted. The professor nodded. Go. Family first. Take the exam next week. No paperwork. No punishment. Just humanity. Every Friday, Emma and Eleanor met at a cafe in Emma's neighborhood. Eleanor always came to her. 800 applications, Eleanor said, showing her a tablet. Compassionate Action Scholarship. Read these stories. Emma scrolled. Student helped during wildfire evacuation. Student intervened in domestic violence. Student stayed with a car accident victim. All punished, all now supported. There are so many, Emma whispered. There always were, Eleanor said. We finally see them. And we're helping. Emma's phone buzzed. Grandma Loretta, video call from Baltimore. Baby, your mama's looking down, smiling so big. I'm so proud of you. Emma curled up on her bed, tears in her eyes. I'm graduating in May, Grandma. Top of my class. Job offer at Children's Hospital. Emergency room? Loretta asked. That's where people need help most. Where seconds matter. Where stopping makes the difference. Loretta nodded. You're going to be the nurse who stops. Emma smiled. I already am, Grandma. 1 year later, University of Pennsylvania. New policy working. Students helping without fear. Across America, 43 universities adopted compassionate action protocols. 3 states passed Student Good Samaritan Protection Acts. Emma, now RN, got off shift at Children's Hospital took the bus home to a better neighborhood, shared with Destiny, now in law school. One afternoon, the familiar sound of helicopter blades filled the air. Emma looked up, laughing. The same black helicopter descended, neighbors cheering, kids waving. Eleanor stepped out, grinning, carrying a folder. "News that requires dramatic delivery," Eleanor said, hugging her. "Congress votes next month on the Federal Student Good Samaritan Act. Your Senate testimony pushed it through committee. Emma, this is going national." Emma stared, tears forming. "I thought we were just changing one school." "You changed the conversation. National policy follows consciousness. You created that." Emma looked around at the courtyard, at the mural someone had painted on the pharmacy wall. Hands reaching out, the words "kindness was here." She turned to the camera, hospital badge on her scrubs. "If you're watching, you'll face a choice like mine. You'll see someone who needs help, and you'll have somewhere else to be. Here's what I learned. The world changes when ordinary people refuse to walk past. When someone stops. When everyone keeps going. Be the person who stops." On screen, the Compassionate Action Foundation has helped 863 students nationwide. 43 universities adopted protection policies. Federal Student Good Samaritan Act pending because Emma Bradley stopped running. Emma's story started with one choice to stop when everyone walked past. It ended with national policy change and hundreds of students protected. What would you have done? Drop a comment. If this moved you, subscribe. There are more stories like Emma's that need telling. Stories about ordinary people creating extraordinary change. See you next time.